always get nervous on Saturday nights. It's not as bad as it used to be, but it still happens to me. Saturday nights are not good for much because I know what I have to do Sunday morning. And it makes you nervous and makes you tremble. And it's going to get worse because now we're actually filming the sermon. So now I have to stand before a camera and do this. The idea is that we are going to film the sermons every Sunday. And then we're going to, where is Charlene Taylor? Charlene, there you are. I need to talk to you about how we can download those. Okay? Charlene is our web guru who does not like to get attention for the work she does, but if you've been to our website, it is fabulous. If you've not been to it, you need to go to it. She does a terrific job, and now after church, she's going to get after me for pointing that out. But that's okay. We appreciate all that you do very much. We really do. It's great to serve the Lord, and there's so many ways to do that.
Have you ever noticed that if you ask a woman a particular question about something, if she knows the answer, she'll tell you. If she doesn't, she'll tell you she doesn't know the answer. And she'll try to find it for you. If you ask a man a question and he doesn't know the answer, he's going to answer anyway. Anybody ever notice that? Men will give you an answer even if there's something within the male psyche that if we don't know the answer, we at least want to lead you to believe that we do. And we'll give you an answer. Even if it's wrong. It's the way guys are. The same thing is, we don't stop for directions. We already know. We're just taking a more circuitous route. Well, I gave some thought to that. There's a name for it. I actually found it on the internet. It's called male answer syndrome. Can you imagine that? They actually have a male answer syndrome? That's how bad it's gotten, I guess. But I also started thinking about some of my relations and some of the stories that I've heard about my ancestors. And there's one in particular about my great-grandparents, Frank and Salome Hunter. And story was their relationship was interesting. One of the little stories was about how they got into an argument one day, and as he was going out of the kitchen door, a butcher knife just flew by and stuck in the wall next to him. She must have been an interesting person to live with. But he was a very stubborn, hard-headed man, is what I was told. I never had the chance to meet him. He died very young. But, yeah, I wonder why. Yeah. We might want to look into it and make it a cold case or something. But it was said that one time he was sitting at the dinner table and they had guests over and somebody asked a question about something and he gave the answer and the guest said, "No, Frank, I think that's wrong," and they got into an argument. And so the guest actually left the house and came back with a thick history book and opened it up and showed him exactly where he was wrong. To which he said, "The book is wrong." Now that's male answer syndrome at its greatest, isn't it? We get it into our head that things need to be a certain way, and that's it. We're set. We believe something so strongly that even when we find out it's wrong, we're going to keep believing it, aren't we? We want it our way. Well, I was reading in the Old Testament, and what got me started in the Old Testament was the confirmation class that I'm doing. We've been in the Old Testament for like 4 or 5 sessions now. And I was reading about how Moses was leading the people through the Sinai Peninsula for a period of 40 years they wandered. 40 years it took them to get from their enslavement in Egypt to what we call the Promised Land, the land of milk and honey. Now that's a long time to be wandering around with thousands of people. And Moses was trying to let them understand that God is in control. We may be wandering. We may not have wagon loads of food or anything. We may not have barrels of drinking water, but we're trusting that God will give us what we need every day by day, to get by until we get to where God is leading us. And sure enough, we have that story of Moses standing before the rock when the people are thirsty, and he hits it with his staff and water comes out for them. And we know the story of manna coming from heaven. How every day, manna, food, mysterious kind of food, appeared in the wilderness, and they were told, gather what you need for this day only. Don't gather for tomorrow, because that